get into it. Today I really want to delve into how we as a group of people, black men and black women alike, have a, how can I say, we discriminate against black women in particular based off her phenotype. And when I talk about this discrimination, I want it to not be any type of confusion as to the type of black women that I'm talking about here. Now, if you will look at the picture of the young lady that I have on the screen, this is the typical phenotypical black woman that a lot of black people, male and female alike, would call ugly. They would look at this young woman and they would tell her that she cannot speak. She does not have a right to voice an opinion because of her looks. This is the type of young black woman that would be marginalized in our society. And this is everywhere she goes, not only outside of the society with other groups and races and cultures, but also within her own group of people. She will not be embraced and loved. She will be told to sit down and be quiet. And she would be made to feel inadequate. If she has an opinion that someone doesn't agree with, this is the type of black woman that would immediately be attacked. She would be called black, tar baby, nappy headed, all these names by her own group of people. Black women too. Black women would marginalize her as well. She would not find any comfort even with her own sistering. And so now I'm here today to speak on behalf of the marginalized black woman, because it doesn't get talked about. We talk about colorism all the time, and that's simply a skin tone. But we do not talk about the discrimination that a black woman that would be deemed unattractive. It's not even about her features, because you can have a broad nose and still be considered cute. But this young lady right here, she has everything that everyone in all races would say is unattractive about her. Okay, she has a keen jawline, the dark skin tone, the very broad nose, the very hard features that one would consider to be masculine features. She has all of that. And you know, this young woman will be told that she's unworthy by everybody, even her own sistering. Okay, you will have black women also abusing her mentally and emotionally because of how she looks, because of how she was born. She was born with these features, by the way. And let's not let that escape from us, okay? Because I have a problem with people shaming people because of how they look with the features that they were actually born with, that they probably would have to have surgery to do something about. And even with surgery, it wouldn't help very much, right? Unless she completely changed her entire look like Michael Jackson attempted to do. And we see how that worked out for him. These are the marginalized women in our society that will never, ever be made to feel positive about themselves and their appearance. But instead, they will get beat down at every turn by everybody. So where do we go from here? Because see, this is the problem that I have. We're gonna like what we like. Nobody is saying that you gotta like her. Nobody is saying you gotta marry her. Nobody's saying you would have to date a woman that looks like her if you're not attracted to her. But why is it that we feel we have to go out of our way to abuse and dehumanize women and girls that look like her? That's when I have the problem with some of my people. Because we go out of our way to abuse and dehumanize somebody that looks like her. And I really thought about this for a long time because it seems to be the popular thing. When a girl or a woman that looks like her has a difference of opinion with one of us, especially. And the first thing that gets attacked is her looks. We're not going to attack what she's talking about. We're not going to take issue with the actual point. But she's going to get attacked immediately and shamed into silence because of how she was born. The looks she was born with that she had nothing to do with, that she can't actually help. And looking at the picture, it appears that she has her natural hair. Her skin is nice. So what else can you ask for? There really isn't anything that she can do about her looks that she was born with. But this is what is always going to get attacked when it comes to a young lady and women like her. Now, this young lady here, in the photograph that you're looking at right now, this young woman is also a young lady that would be marginalized. She looks like she might be a young teenager, probably 14, 15-year-old young black girl, okay? But she wouldn't be as marginalized and ridiculed as the other young lady in the photo that I showed you, because her features are a little bit more acceptable because she doesn't have the strong jawline, okay? And she has the nice skin, okay? Her hair is got the little baby hair going, you know, slicked down and all that type of stuff. Got the little kitchen in the back, even though it's looking a little rough. But, you know, she's a little bit more put together. But the features of the broad nose, the dark skin, the bushy eyebrows, those are still features. The dark around her ears, you can see that. Those are still things that she would still be marginalized over. She will still be looked at as less desirable than, say, someone who was lighter and had more keener features. But definitely she would be considered more attractive than the young lady that I just showed the photo of. So you would be able to take her features a lot better. However, she will still be marginalized in this society. Someone would tell her that she's ugly because she has that bell pepper shaped nose. Someone would definitely say that. Now, they probably wouldn't be so bold as to say it now, you know, because she's a young lady. This is a little 14-year-old. She looks like she's about 14, 15 years old. Okay, so I don't think that too many people would be that heartless as to tear down the self-esteem of a young black girl. But then again, you know, the way that our people are in our society, I would not put it past some of us to be that dirty and grimy. But I put these two images up here in front of you because I'm showing a progression of acceptable black beauty. The first image would definitely be something that you all would find offensive and unattractive. And you definitely would be mean to that woman. And you definitely would tell her that she's ugly. She has no business having any type of thought or opinion. And she would you would quickly have no problem dismissing her as nothing and dehumanizing her. And the same thing goes for this young girl over here. Actually, she would be invisible. Even though I think she's adorable, she would be invisible in our society, easily overlooked. No one would rave about her beauty, and I believe that she is a very beautiful girl, but no one would rave about her beauty. She would not be propped on a pedestal either. So, any of you coming in here, wanting to be politically correct, this is not the time, because I want you to be all the way real. The gaslighting, the pretending that everything is what I'm not going to get down with, because we know that in truth, in actual truth, we would not uphold this young woman's beauty at all. And once again, these are phenotypically black women. Okay, so the further you get into the black phenotype, the less attractive you are to society as a whole, and even to your own group of people. And so women like these two girls that I just showed, they will be tossed over into the margins of our society, forgotten, looked over, and made invisible. And if they were to try to come out of the margins of society, we will quickly remind them of their place. We will quickly remind them of their place. And don't tell me that this doesn't happen, because you will be a liar. The minute either of these women say anything that anybody disagrees with, the first thing that gets attacked is what? Look at this girl. What would be the first thing that we would attack about her? Her hair, her skin tone, her big nose. And I have always maintained, by the way, that really and truly it doesn't have anything to do with skin tone. Other societies want our melanin. Okay? Make no mistake about it. The only thing that they would throw away that the black woman has is the wide, broad nose. The only thing that we would throw away that we have is the wide, broad nose. Just saying. Let's just be honest. There are many, many other examples of young women. Many other examples of young women that look like her. Whether they have the dark skin, broad nose, big lips, and they decide to put a weave on their head. Or whether or not they have those features and they decide to wear their hair natural. In the cases of the women that you're seeing coming across the stream now. You have an instance of the young lady that had the weave. The instances of the young women here that you're seeing on the screen that are natural. Or they have natural hairstyles or natural hair weaves that, further promote their Afrocentricity. We don't really appreciate their Afrocentricity. As a matter of fact, we're being very disingenuous when we say that we do. We always say and we always tell black women, we encourage them to wear their natural hair. We encourage them to be proud of their features, right? But the minute that we do, as soon as you get mad at us, those are the very features that you use to tear us down. Strong jawline. You look manly. Yeah, those are things that we're gonna hear, regardless to what we do. And as I stated before, it's not just black people that do it. We get it from other groups, other cultures, but we especially get it within our own group first. The first people that we have dealings with is our own people. And our own people have this type of, how can I say, discrimination against this type of black woman. And I use the black woman in particular because we are the ones that are quick to get marginalized for our phenotypical blackness. We are the first ones are quick to get told that we're more masculine. Now, these are women that are not wearing makeup. These are women that are upholding the Afrocentric beauty standard. But these are also the very women that will be told that they are unattractive. Nobody wants them, and they're not good enough. These are the same ones. So let's take a look at the strong jawline black woman. Here's a picture of a pretty black woman. In my opinion, she's gorgeous. But to our society and to our own people, if this young lady were to suddenly become disagreeable, loud, or all the things that we claim are unfeminine in black women, if she were to get into an argument and the first time she disagrees with you, look at her picture. Tell me what's the first thing people would say about her. They would talk about that nappy hair. Yes, they would say her hair is nappy. So don't even get mad at me for saying the word nappy. You know I'm right. They would look at her jawline. They would say she looked masculine. Okay? Even though she has an amazing smile. I look at this young woman and I see a beautiful black woman with a head full of beautiful black hair. I see a black dark-skinned girl with beautiful skin, a very beautiful smile. But you all, the minute that she disagrees with you, this is what you're going to attack. And see, the reason why I'm coming out with this video is because I want to look at the mentality of our group and why we do this to each other. Because see, other groups of people, when they disagree with each other, they don't sit up here and degrade each other's looks like this. Not like how we do. Okay? The white woman can sit up here and be just as manly looking, even more manly looking than you all would accuse this young woman of being. And to me, she doesn't look manly at all. Yet she has a square jawline. Okay, some of us have that jawline. So I don't want anybody to sit up here and gaslight me right now. Don't do it. Because sure as shit stinks. Y'all will be the first ones looking at this picture of this young lady and picking her apart, tossing her to the side and marginalizing her, shaming her into silence because of the features that she was born with. That you wouldn't do it because I know you would. Now this next picture is of yet another beautiful black queen. Beautiful sister here. But the difference between this picture and the last picture that I showed you is what? Jawline. Okay? Now she would have what we would describe as a more feminine shaped jawline. Okay? It's more oval and curved. It's not rectangular like the other lady's jawline. Okay? But even this young lady, you know, even with her more feminine jawline, this is another one of our sisters that will fall into the margins of our society. Now, once again, we were going up the ladder as far as looks. Now, she's a little bit more above the last couple of black women that I showed in the pictures, because she's a acceptable nut brown color, okay? And she has the more feminine jawline. So she would go a little bit further up as far as the looks department is concerned. And so she would be considered what we call cute. Not even cute. She would just be considered an attractive young lady. She would just be considered an average, attractive young black woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. However, she would still be picked apart because she has the keen nose and the broad black features. And so in society as a whole, because she has her natural hair, she would not be acceptable either. Okay, she would be a little bit more acceptable in our group, because we would look at her as looking more feminine because of her jawline. But overall, she would still be invisible. Let's just be honest. She will still be treated invisible by majority. And I'm talking about, when I say invisible, black women may praise her quickly. It's easy to praise somebody that looks like her. But black men wouldn't. She would be invisible to a lot of brothers. Okay, let's just be honest. Now, to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you the type of women that we find acceptable and attractive, and we have no problem allowing them to speak, have an opinion, have a difference of opinion, and pretty much get away with being nasty individuals, by the way, not very nice human beings, assholes, whatever. I'm not saying that all women that look like this are not nice individuals. I know a lot of women that look like this. There are beautiful women inside and out, okay? But I'm just saying that the leeway that we would give women that look like this woman here, she would get a lot of leeway in our society and outside our society, because she has mixed features. Okay, and this is what we prop up in our society. We don't prop up the women that look more phenotypically black, like the ones that I showed you before. Those are the women that will be on the outskirts and margins of our society, and they would be shamed into being silent because they don't look a certain way. They are going to be told that they're not entitled to an opinion because they're not attractive, and they should sit down and be quiet. But women like her, she's entitled to whatever opinion that she wants. She could be the smartest woman in the world, and she would be able to show off her academic acumen more so than these other women because of how she looks. People are going to stop and listen to her. Whereas the other women can also be just as smart, but they will not be able to express it as much as this woman would. This woman would be taken more seriously because she has acceptable looks and features. But now let me tell you something. This woman cannot help how she was born, okay? She cannot help that she was born with these features that everybody finds acceptable. So I'm not saying at all that this woman has done anything wrong in looking like this. I am saying that our society is wrong in how we dehumanize those that do not look like this. That's what I'm saying. I am saying that our society is wrong for dehumanizing the black woman that does not have her phenotype. Because the black woman looks closer to Africa and having African features, she's automatically wrong. We treat her like she's automatically wrong. And this woman could be right in a lot of things that she's saying, but she's wrong because we don't like how she looks. Now, a woman that looks like her could be all the way wrong, but she's right because we like how she looks. And that's how it works. Pay attention even to social media. There are biracial women, because most of these women are biracial. They're not fully black, okay? Most of them are biracial. And they can have a really terrible view, ideology, be extremely inaccurate with their facts. And all of that won't matter because people like looking at them. So even though they're giving out bad information, they are allowed to speak. They are allowed to have an opinion. They are allowed even to further marginalize women that don't look like them, because they know that they are going to be protected within our society because of how they look. And even women that don't look like her will protect her and uphold her and put her on a pedestal. And even women that don't look like her will call other women that look like themselves ugly. I've seen that too. I've seen other dark-skinned, average-looking women go after the looks of other dark-skinned, average-looking women, as if they don't hold a mirror and they can't see that they are the same level of dark-skinned averageness of the women that they're tearing down. This is the sickness of some of our women in our society. But women that look like these, women that I'm showing across the screen now, this is what our society props up on a pedestal. This is what our society says. These women have a right to their opinion. Whether they're right or wrong, they are going to be upheld. And they will never be dehumanized or put in the margins of society. We put these women at the forefront of society, and we even try to replace our natural Afrocentric blackness with their watered down blackness. Even if a young black woman, seeing how she has been marginalized within society, even if she tries to aspire to the level of beauty that she sees being propped up around her, she is ostracized for it. It's in the picture of this young lady here. You would say that she's weaving it up. She's got on too much makeup. She's trying a little bit too hard. Even her efforts to try to assimilate into society and be acceptable would be marginalized. She would be ostracized for trying to be acceptable, even within her own group. They would call her a hare-hatted hooligan, chicken head, and whatever other names that they can call her. And also, these are the young women that get called a transvestite majority of the time when they wear their weave and their makeup. Black girls that look like this. Now, she's looking quite nice in my opinion. She's got herself put together quite nice in my opinion. She's got her hair blended quite nice in my opinion. But it would still not be enough. So you are damned if you do and damned if you don't. Basically, no matter what you do, you're going to be marginalized. Society will still say that you're ugly and you need to be quiet and know your place. This is what we have come to as a group. And no, this young lady will not have anywhere, no comfort, not even with her own sister. Because once again, I submit to you today, black women, we are in competition with each other. All right. So, while we're competing with each other, we're not going to uphold each other like that. No, we're not. There's a lot of fakeness going on. You got a lot of your sisterin that will sit up here and fake and tell you that they love you and that you're beautiful. And then the minute that you fall out with this person, they're going to go and tell you how they really feel. And that's just the truth of the matter. And like I said, we're no better than any of the other races or black men that tear us down, because we as black women do it to each other. And so black women like this young woman here have no comfort anywhere. She can't find any comfort. She can't go anywhere to look for anyone who's going to uplift her. So she's going to have to uplift herself. At the end of the day, that's what it is. She's going to have to uplift herself, because nobody else is going to do that for her. There are the black women who are dark skinned that will be propped up by society. And these are the girls, these are our women who will most likely hear the term pretty for a dark skinned girl. And these are the young black women, like I said, and there's no crime in them looking like this. This is how they were born. Okay. So I'm not demonizing anybody for how they were born, but I am demonizing how we treat one another within our society. But these are the ones that will hear you are pretty for a dark-skinned girl. And these are usually the ones with the more Eurocentric features, the more, how can I say, what do they call it? Goodness, I can't, the word is escaping me, but they have the wavy type hair. It's not the 4C hair, but it's the hair that they deem to be exotic. Now these are the dark skinned women like Chili from TLC. She's dark skinned with the more Eurocentric features, but also she's considered more exotic because she has the mixed girl textured hair, even though she has the dark skin. And so these are also the black dark-skinned women that will manage to get propped up because of that. And like I said, no crime in that. No crime in that at all. Because once again, no one can help how they're born. You're born with what you're born with. And if you happen to hit the genetic lottery, as a lot of people would say, and you're more attractive than other groups of women, that's fine. But that does not mean that those other group of women deserve to be marginalized, dehumanized, ridiculed because of the way they were born. And that's something that, I really would like for our people to get away from. We have gotten away from respecting one another. We have gotten away from just regular old everyday manners. How has it gotten to the point where it is acceptable to just go around telling people that you don't like how they look just because you disagree with them? Or you don't like how they look just because you want to be the class clown and make everybody laugh? And you appear to be the funny asshole in the group. Nowadays, it is very, very popular and acceptable to be an asshole. So that manners, treating people with dignity and respect, all of that has gone out the window. There's no such thing as that anymore. It is the norm now to be an asshole. To the point, it seems as if everybody has taken to doing it. And we've become okay with it as a society. We've told ourselves that this is just fine. And so we on the one hand, when you see a young black woman that does not have the phenotypical European features or exotic features that are acceptable within our society, if she has low self-esteem, if she's walking around with her head down, if she says self-degrading things about herself, and we sit up here and we have the nerve to wonder why this young lady feels the way she feels about herself, after we done spent quite a bit of time, after she done ran into a lot of us that had beat her down mentally and emotionally, just trampled all over her self-esteem. But we got the nerve to wonder, how come somebody like this got such a low self-esteem? We're not looking at the society that she lives in that tramples upon that self-esteem at every turn and marginalize her at every turn and reminds her where her place in society is at every turn. We completely forget and ignore that. And then so not only have we dehumanized this person and beat them up mentally and emotionally, but we're gaslighting them and telling them, why don't you have more self-esteem about yourself? What's wrong with you? Isn't that a blip? And we never ever think about these things before we open our mouths to say, before we open our mouths to tell these people that they should have a little bit more self-esteem about themselves. They need to be more confident. But if you got people every time you turn around beating you down, how can you be confident? And I really want to applaud the women that still manage to be confident in spite of the environment that they live in, because this is definitely the environment that these women find themselves in. Black women, ladies, we come in so many different shapes, so many colors, so many sizes. There are so many different varieties of our beauty. And yet we want to marginalize ourselves to just one particular type of beauty that isn't even fully Afrocentric. And I think we rob ourselves and do ourselves a disservice when we do that. And same thing to the fellas. So, when I make videos like this, it is not to try to sway anybody to like something that they don't like. It is not to beg anybody to love black women, but it is to implore both black women and black men to remember to treat each other with humanity and respect. That is what I'm doing here. Because we have lost all respect for each other as individuals and as human beings. That we're out here completely destroying our own images to one another, and then criticizing each other when we don't love ourselves. I talk all the time about how members of the dominant society, other cultures, they fetishize black women and they want to look closer to what we look like. I talk about it all the time, how they get the collagen injections in their lips, and they inject the fat in their butts so that they can be more curvier. They go and they get the melanin treatments so that they can have coloration like we have. But let's also not forget that we have a lot of black women out here with self-hatred. A lot of black women out here not loving themselves. A lot of black women out here running to get their nose chopped off. There's so many black women that are going to get rhinoplastic surgery on their noses because we have beaten each other down. It's not even that the dominant society has done this, but it's just that we have done this. The first thing we do when we get mad at each other, get upset with each other, and don't let the sister have a bell pepper shaped nose or a wide nose. First thing we do is we tear that sister down because of that facial feature. And then you got the nerve to sit up here and wonder why you see these celebrities like Little Kim and what's her name? MC Lyte. MC Lyte had some work done. I remember young MC Lyte before she had the work done. And it's because of our self-hatred and us putting each other down that we feel we have to alter ourselves. So we go and we get these surgeries done so that we can have a more Eurocentric look to our noses. And there are some of us who would actually say that some of those women in those pictures I just showed you look better after. We would not even say that our Afrocentric noses are just fine the way they are. So if you're not going to tell these women that they look fine the way they were, and if you're never going to make fun of a woman because her nose is wide, then that's fine. But we all know, we've all sat here and watched our own people tear down their own people because of their Afrocentric features. And that's what's really sad about the whole thing, because once again, you're born with the nose that you're born with. But because society and even our own people, we can't even find comfort. We can't even find within our own people the encouragement to love ourselves. Because, the gaslighting is not going to work here. You're not going to sit here and tell me that we don't do this. Because we do. Every chance we get, we tell each other that we're ugly if we have these features. So does the typical unattractive black woman deserve to be silenced because of her looks? Does she deserve to be relegated to the margins of society because she doesn't look a certain way that we deem acceptable? If the black woman is considered unattractive, does that make her a bad person? Does that make her a bad mother? Does that make her stupid? Does that make her a, an outcast? How about the average black woman? There are black women that are just average, okay? They're neither big or small. They're neither unattractive or exceptionally beautiful. They're just average. Does she deserve to be marginalized and treated in an inhuman fashion because she's just the average black woman? How do we get so far away from humanity that we feel that this is how we should treat ourselves, especially our women? And I'm also including other black women into this because we also dehumanize and marginalize each other in the same fashion. Women will sit up and look at another woman's clothes, her hair, her nails, and tear that woman down if they don't deem that she is an acceptable attractiveness or put herself together in an acceptable fashion. We dehumanize each other in that way as well. And yet we sit here and we wonder why the women in our race have low self-esteem. You cannot contribute to tearing down a person and then question
but I put out images of
they
myself
have not
because
I put out images
why they
of
are
black
holding
women,
their head down, why they don't have
typical average looking
self-esteem black women that would not be considered
contribute to tearing down a person
to everyone,
and then ask that question.
However, over the years, you know, thank God for my father, thank God for other men in my life that have boosted me and helped me have the self-esteem that I have today to love myself in spite of the environment that I live in. And trust and believe, I am very aware that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but at the same time, I'm not going to be everybody's whooping post either. And whether, you know, I wear my natural hair, and those are pictures of me. That's a picture of me doing a length check with my natural hair after blow drying. And then you have a picture of me wearing a wig. So when I get on here and I tell you guys that my hair is shoulder length, that I can do both. I can either wear the wig or I can wear my own hair. My hair draws up. Like in that first picture that you saw, that was a picture of me. My hair's twisted out, and it's looking a little shorter because the hair, you know, draws up. You know how our hair does. So in the second picture, you see me holding my hair out, you know, doing a lint check. Yes, we have hair under there. Yes, that is my hair, okay, that you're seeing in that picture. And in the last picture, that's me wearing a wig. So black women, we are beautiful, we are versatile in whatever we decide to do. I'm getting sick and tired of people marginalizing us and trying to purposely tear down our self-esteem. I have daughters that look like me. I have family that looks like me. And I would not do that to another black woman. And I just really, at the end of this video, I would just implore you to, before you sit back and chastise a young black girl or woman because she doesn't seem to have the self-esteem that you think she ought to have. You should really think and look at the society that she lives in and what we are accepting in society. In this society, it is acceptable to be assholes. It is acceptable to put women down and just completely destroy their self-esteem and humanity. And with that, I take my leave. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below, and I'm out.